Hello, my name is Brandon, and welcome to Retro Reactions, a place where I experience amazing music from the 70s, 80s, and 90s for the very first time. And yes, it's the big day, the sad day, the official end to my 2-year Genesis journey. Wow, what an incredible ride it's been. Incredible's not even the word. You can only imagine me hearing their entire discography, including B-sides, live stuff, in a span of 2 years. It's been so incredible, but never fear, they will be back for the life of my channel with more B-sides and live material when their turn comes around. So we'll end this journey and this live month with one of my favorites that I discovered here on the channel. Actually, two of my favorites. The winner of the poll for this one was Home by the Sea / Second Home by the Sea. And these come from the 1993 album, The Way We Walk, Volume 2, The Longs, their 5th live album, which reached number 1 in the UK and number 20 in the US. The song was recorded during their 1992 tour for the album We Can't Dance. Let's check it out.
We're going to do a song for them, for you, about an intrusion into the other world, called Home by the Sea.
Coming up the woodwork through the open door, pushing from above and below. Shadows but no substance in the shape of men, round and round and sideways they go. A cliff without direction, eyes that hold despair. Then as one decide and they more. Help us someone, let us out of here. 'Cause living here so long undisturbed, dreaming of the time we were free. So many years ago, before the time when we first heard, welcome to your home by the sea. Sit down, sit down, just sit down, sit down, sit down, sit down. As we live our lives, what we tell you. Oh,
fully satisfying. What a way to end the journey on a bang. But that ending, I don't know if he added that new vocal melody right at the end there. Kind of dark. They did it just for me, obviously. Even though I was only, 17 or 18. But anyway, wow. Wow, wow, wow. Incredible. I knew it would be. Of course, there were parts I forgot. But again, what a way to end. Got emotional at the end there. Saying goodbye to them, but not really. Because they'll always be with me. They'll always be with us. Their music will be with the world for all time, of course. And they'll be on my channel in the future. But of course, it's the end of the official journey. So a bit sad. But wow. It's like the emotions at the end there paralleled what I was feeling. A nice calm ending after that huge blast of music in the second part. Wow. Perfection, as I always say. Yeah, also so happy that this one won the poll as well. It was so great to hear it all again, and so strong in the live setting. Such a hard-hitting opening to start with. Wow, seemed harder, bigger than the album. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's what I heard. The verses, oh my word, such amazing, touching, beautiful chord progressions. Get me every time. That's what sticks in my head when I think of the song, the verses more than the chorus. And that keyboard tone on those little melodies, do, so delicious. Wow. Perfect peaks and valleys in this song, of course. Just pure musical intoxication. I was loving every second. Of course, I knew what was coming in the second part. I'm like, bring it on, bring it on. I knew it was going to be strong, powerful. Again, hadn't heard it in a while, so it lived up to the hype, to the expectation. I loved in the transition from the first part to the second part, those ethereal keyboard chords. Again, Tony shining like the brightest star, as always, but it just hits even harder to hear him in the live setting, hear everything that he's capable of. And then second, Home by the Sea again. Musically lived up to my expectations, probably exceeded them. I mean, talk about thick bass. Was I hearing bass pedals? I think I was, but then I was probably hearing bass as well, bass guitar, heavy drums, and this roaring guitar, probably more than one. It all just came together in this perfect storm, literally a storm, an avalanche of excellent, strong, hard-hitting music. Yeah, that whole second part was a dazzling, super punchy, highest energy, musical buffet, and I just kept eating. It was amazing. It seemed almost too big and bold sounding to believe that it was done live by just a handful of expert musicians who we know and love. It's like my ears were flooded with sound. Again, loving the intensity, loving everything I was hearing. Talk about ending my official journey with a bang. It sure did. And a nice surprise at the end there. That's when I started getting really emotional when the vocals from part one came back in. Didn't remember that. Perfect bookend. You know I love bookends. And everything quieted down. Phil came in sounding amazing, singing the melody that I love. Verses, I think it was the verses. And again, got me very emotional. I started thinking about the whole journey and just a perfect end to my official Genesis journey. But of course, it'll never truly end. So of course, thank you for this amazing version. Phil Collins, Tony Banks, Mike Rutherford, Daryl Sturmer, and Chester Thompson. And thank you to all the other past members of Genesis and everyone who worked on their albums, who worked on their live concerts. Wow, it's been quite a ride. Almost indescribable what I've taken in the last 2 years. So absolutely rewarding. I'll never forget it. And now I basically know their entire catalog except for that 1969 album, which I've only heard, I think, 2 from, but I'm sure I'll get to that eventually too. All right. Well, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. And I decided to end this journey to leave you guys with a little surprise, especially if you haven't seen it before. Maybe some of you have, I'm sure, but it's my very, very first Genesis reaction from this channel, and it happens to be Firth of Fifth. Yeah, I just rewatched it today, And gotta warn you, some of my commentary has some pretty laughable moments, but I was young, naive to Genesis, only knew a handful of songs, just starting the journey. So what I didn't know, and I was new to reactions, so I wasn't as comfortable as you'll probably see. So hope you enjoy it. Oh, and one more warning, my rating, criminally incorrect. Again, didn't know the whole journey, didn't know the power of the song on first listen. I loved it, but I didn't know that it's way up there. But again, will call me young and naive to Genesis at that point. Enjoy. Hello everyone, and welcome to Retro Reactions, a place where I experience amazing music from the 70s, 80s, and 90s for the very first time. And today we're going to be time traveling back to 1973 to listen to Firth of Fifth by the amazing Genesis. This is quite a long song at 9 minutes and 37 seconds, so I'm not sure what I'm in store for, but let's see what it has to offer. Unexpected. Wow. Must be Tony.
The path is clear, though no eyes can see. The course laid down long before. And so with gods and men, the sheep remained inside their pen. Though many times they've seen the way to leave, he rides majestic past homes of men who care not or gaze with joy.
Drums.
To see reflected there, the trees, the sky, the lily fair, the scene of death is lying just below. The mountain cuts off the town from view like a cancer growth.
Beautiful guitar.
It's removed by skill. Let it be revealed. A waterfall is madrigal. An inland sea is symphony. Na 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 na. On dino songs urge the sailors on, till lured by the sirens' cry.
So dark. I'll pause it right there. Wow, so much to say about this. I'm familiar with lots of Genesis songs, maybe the mid to later stuff, and this one's different. I don't know. It seems like the earlier material, the bands I'm checking out, have a different feel. This is very progressive rock sounding, and not really used to that with them. This reminds me of something that like Queen would release. It's very, very interesting, and we're only about a little over halfway through, so really excited to hear this. Now, I'm assuming that's Peter Gabriel. It's interesting how Peter Gabriel and Phil Collins sound so much alike, but I'm pretty sure we're still in the Peter Gabriel era, and the voice does sound a bit more like Peter. But again, they're very, very similar, and some people may not even be able to tell the difference if they weren't too familiar with the fact that there's two singers. I love the change in direction. I mentioned that in the Tears for Fears video. I love songs that go off on different tangents and change in theme, chords, dynamics, structure. It's taking so many turns and 180s, and I just love that kind of stuff. I mean, it started off with a great piano solo, The Amazing Tony, and then more of a punchy drums kicked in, the main structure of the song, the lyrics came in. Then we went to an amazing flute piece, and did not expect that. And now we're at like a synthesizer type piece. So it's got so many elements to it, so many layers to it, and I'm really, really appreciating it. And looks like they're probably going to give us some more interesting things. But another thing I noticed, the chord structures and the chords themselves are very, very unusual. That's just kind of adding to the whole roller coaster feeling of the song. So very, very interesting, very unexpected. I think of Genesis and I think of Land of Confusion, Into Deep, countless hits, but this is definitely different. So let's see what the rest of it has to offer. I'm thoroughly enjoying it. Another change up. Love those organs. What a solo.
Now as the river dissolves in sea, so Neptune has claimed another soul. And so with gods and men, the sheep remain inside their pen until the shepherd leads his flock away. The sands of time worry rolling by, the river of constant change.
Yes. Wow. Starts with the piano, ends with the piano. Okay, I can honestly say it. That's a masterpiece, just hearing it one time. I mean, it's totally up my alley, but it exceeded all my expectations because I didn't realize that Genesis had music like this. And it's so much to say, such an amazing song. I've always loved this band from when they were big in the 80s. Tried to see them live once, but show got canceled. That was very sad. And anyway, where do I start? In the second half, that guitar solo was amazing. I believe it's Mike Rutherford is he their guitarist. Hopefully I'm getting all this right because I don't know too much about them, other than of course Phil Collins, since he went on to that amazing solo career. But tons of hits with this band as well. I like that the vocals were kind of not the focus of the song. I think the music is the focus, and the music is what led us on the journey. The vocals were kind of the bookends to the front end of the song, and tied it up into a whole package. And again, that was their goal, I'm sure. The music's telling a story. Got to read the words, but it looks like the music's really taking us on a journey. And like I've said, I love songs that take us on journeys, take me on a journey, and go in different directions. Lots of twists and turns. Those are the best kind of songs to me. Obviously, this one made me feel so much with the chords. There was some major stuff, but there was a lot of minor chords in there, which really made it a dark, dark song. Gave it some dark tones, dark twists, dark turns. And again, I love all that. The drumming was amazing. I don't remember the drummer's name, but great drumming here. Very powerful, and that stood out as well. I mean, everyone seemed to shine on this song, especially the musicians. Of course, Peter Gabriel's an amazing vocalist, but the musicians are what shined here. Definitely a masterpiece. I put it up there with the few Pink Floyd songs that I've heard, you know, Comfortably Numb, things like that, Us and Them. I see it on that level. Similar, but yet very different, but on the same level. Definitely a masterpiece to me. I hope Genesis has other songs like this, especially earlier in their career, which I can discover on this journey and this channel. And lastly, as I probably will say a lot on this channel, I would love to see this song live because it must be absolutely amazing. And I hope and I assume that there is a live version somewhere on YouTube to catch, because I definitely would love to see that. Live just brings it to a whole nother level sometimes, especially when you have so much talent, as much talent as this band. I know they could just bring it to life even further on stage, and so I'm excited to search for that and hopefully find that tonight. Anyway, going to check out the lyrics. Be right back. Okay, well, very, very vague again, in my opinion. Probably open to much interpretation, these lyrics. But I love the use of imagery, all the nature imagery to evoke thoughts in your head. And I'm sure a lot of that is metaphorical and would take further study and further interpretation. Again, everyone would have different interpretations of this. But I feel like the lyrics aren't the main point of the song, like I've said. I think the music is what tells the story and gives the journey, and maybe the lyrics just complement it as far as themes, ideas, what the music is about, and I absolutely love that. And a new favorite of Genesis, thank God I'm doing a little research, because everything I'm finding by these bands that I already know and love are just amazing gems that I have missed for so many years, and kind of glad that I didn't hear them, because now I can discover them with you guys on this channel. But it's amazing all the stuff out there that I don't know yet, even though I've been around and lived through all those times. So I just love this concept of discovering all this stuff through this channel, and always open to suggestions. So that's it for today. Time to rate it. I'm going to give it an obvious 5 golden records. I might change my mind to platinum later on after I've heard it a few more times. But either way, it's top tier song, a masterpiece, up there with the very, very best in music history. And so I'm very glad that I got to experience it today. Anyway, that's all. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoy this content. And I can't wait to discover more Genesis very, very soon. So until next time, stay safe, warm, and allow peace, calm, and light into your day or night. I will see you next time in the past.